It's a battle for first place. It seems like it's always a battle for first place when Brewer and Winslow meet up. That's the case here tonight at Coffin Field in Brewer. Hello, everyone. I'm Nate Long, joined by Howard Kroll, Tracy Willett, and Adam Mahaney. Brewer and Winslow going at it, and Howard, we'll start with you. These two teams play a couple of big games a year, it seems like.
It seems so, Nate. For the last 3 years, these teams have always fought for the #1 seed in the Class B Eastern Maine football, so should be a big game tonight.
They're fighting for first again tonight. Tracy, at the end of the night, when one of these teams has won the game, what do you think the reason for that will be?
Everyone's aware this season of both offenses. Brewer has a high-powered offense. They got a talented backfield. Winslow the same. They got some talent back there. They can throw the ball. So obviously the offenses are ready to play. I think the key is going to be the defenses, how each defense reacts to the other. Winslow, for years, has done their standard even front defense of 4-4, and they kind of spread it out a little bit. Brewer does some different things up front. One of the keys, I think, will be the defense. Winslow has a kicker. Ben Poulin's a pretty good kicker, has done well with extra points. It may come down to him late in the game. If it turns into a shootout here this evening and it comes down to a field goal, you could see that being a key to this game tonight. That's
actually one of the things that Coach Mike Savitsky of Winslow said in the pregame interview I had with him just a short time ago. Here's that interview. Coach Savitsky before this game. Coach, it seems like every time these two teams play, whether it's in the postseason or the end of the regular season, it's always a big matchup. We're always talking about how big of a game it is.
It certainly is. I think the team that wins this will have the inside track, probably end up winning the Northern Division, and obviously if we could at least split our last two games, we probably would get a #1 playoff seed. So the game means a lot. I think it means a lot because of last year. Brewer came down, and they were undefeated, and we beat them, and then we came back in the playoffs and in a real tight game eked out that Eastern Maine championship, and we're expecting more of the same.
Do you get tired of this rivalry, or is this the type of game that the players have circled and you look forward to every?
I don't think as a coach that you can get tired of big games. I think that's what the kids play for, and we always told them when they were young kids, did you imagine you were going to play in the Super Bowl or some other thing? And I think that obviously it's a big game, and I think both teams will be ready to play.
In the big game between these two teams last year, the Eastern Maine Championship, you guys had the edge. You beat Brewer. Now you come in 6-0, and they're looking to knock you off.
Absolutely. That's the way it is.
Do you think that they come in, is there any advantage in the fact that they're shooting for you this time, and maybe they have a little revenge in their minds?
That can be an advantage sometimes, and what we want to do is just play our usual game. They've talked a lot about the speed on both teams' offenses, but both teams play outstanding defense. And Coach Poulin's been my defensive coordinator for a long time, and he has some fantastic schemes, and it should be good. There's some real speed on the field, and you can't coach speed. What we lack in size, we're not a very big team. We try to make up in speed, technique, and execution.
And finally, Coach, just give me a player or two that we should keep our eye on out there from your side.
Hopefully all three of our backs, and we have people that hopefully everyone.
You don't want to pick.
Hopefully they all bring it.
Okay, Coach Savitsky, thanks very much. So Mike Savitsky looking for the same result they had last year in the Eastern Maine Championship game. Adam, Coach Ortego, he's hoping for a little different result.
Yeah, I asked him about how big of a game this is for him. This is a battle of first place, and also the shoes have been reversed here. Last year, it was Brewer undefeated taking on Winslow. This year, it's Winslow undefeated. So I had a chance to talk to Coach Ortego about that, and here's what he had to say. We're now joined by Ed Ortego, the head coach of the Brewer Witches. And Coach, this is a big game for you guys, a lot of first place implications. Anything special your team has done all week to prepare for this game?
Well, we've looked at each of the Winslow players individually, and we've tried to let them know what the matchup problems or advantages are going to be. So we spent more time with that than we typically do for most teams.
Now, last year, the roles were reversed. You guys were undefeated taking on Winslow. This year, Winslow's undefeated. What does that mean? Does it show that your two teams are one of the stronger teams in Eastern Maine?
It could, but what I would like to see is just Brewer come out with a victory here tonight. I don't care what the records are right now, and just get after and play our game and play the way we really know we can, and hope for a victory.
Now, both you and Winslow feature strong running games. What's going to be the key for you guys defensively to stop down their running game, and what's going to be the key for you offensively to exploit their defense?
Defense, we'll have to play really sound, minimal holes, what we call great smash technique. We're going to have to play sound on the backside. We call that BCR, bootleg, counter, reverse. Play really good. They have a great reverse game with 24 and 28. So we've been practicing all of that all week, and hopefully we'll execute it.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck today.
Thank you
and let's
very
see if you guys can come out with a victory.
All right, go Witches.
So we've heard what both coaches have to say. We understand what's at stake. Now all they have to do is play the game. That's coming up right after this break. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
No matter how you stack it, Page Employment has jobs.
Selection without service would be like sunshine without the warmth. Our jewelers have the experience and the tools to renew, repair, or even create jewelry with the warmth of real quality. We're Quality Jewelers. Browse in our new, larger location across from the Fleet Bank building on Exchange Street in downtown Bangor.
During our lifetime, priorities change, and we begin to seek out products that enhance our lives. We move and we grow and come to realize what's truly important. We begin to understand the value of our time and see the results of investing wisely. Priorities change, standards don't. Paradigm Windows of Portland, Maine. Window solutions for life.
Available from Carefree Window and Siding Company. Call 989-4260.
Welcome back to Coffin Stadium, everyone, where it's senior night for Brewer, and right now the senior cheerleaders and football players are being recognized. So that wraps up the senior football players for Brewer. Bob Beetham doing the PA announcing here at Doyle Field. And Winslow is awaiting their chance to run out onto the field. They sat through that ceremony there, and now Brewer are getting the senior pictures. Of course, that's one of those courtesies that every high school extends to the other high school because everyone wants to do it when it's your turn, and it just so happens that Winslow is on the schedule here, and I'm not implying anything malicious in it, just wondering if it factors into Winslow having to stand on the field for a while and watch that.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. And again, as you said, it's something that happens at every school. We're at that point in the season now where these kinds of activities are going to go on, and they're entirely appropriate activities. It's something the officials discussed with both coaches prior to the game. So not really an issue at all, I don't think, for these two teams tonight.
So now we'll get the starting lineup of Winslow running through now.
Defensive end, junior number 81, Ryan Cosgrove. At defensive tackle, junior number 63, Brian Fogg. At defensive tackle, senior number 52, Mike Rancourt. At nose tackle, senior number 73, Barrett Hoskins. At linebacker, junior number 14, Steven Savitsky. At linebacker, junior number 22, John Goulet. At linebacker, senior number 31, Brandon Bellows. At defensive back, a sophomore, number 23, James Wood. At defensive back, a senior, number 24, Jared Maroon. And at defensive back, a junior, number 21, Brendan Weed. And the head coach for the Winslow High School Black Raiders is Mike Savitsky.
So there is Winslow running out in their white jerseys. They have the orange helmet, black pants, jumping around in the circle now. And
tackle is
Brewer
senior
will be
number
introduced.
70, Jeremy Smith. At defensive tackle is junior number 72, Matt Wilson. At defensive tackle is senior number 74, Justin Bowen. Defensive tackle is senior number 78, Jamie Ecker. At outside linebacker is junior number 33, Anthony No. At outside linebacker is junior number 42, James Butts. At inside linebacker is senior number 5, Zach Wilson. At inside linebacker is senior number 44, Ben Caldwell. At cornerback is junior number 2, Ricky Adams. At cornerback is senior number 7, Phil Trammell. At safety is junior number 26, Tristan Oldmixon. And at free safety is senior number 30, Ricky Porter. And the head coach for Brewer High School Witches is Ed Ortego.
So the starting lineups are set. Brewer in Winslow going at it here towards the end of the year. The way it should be, the way it seems like they meet up just about every season. This is the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week. We want to thank our sponsors, the title sponsors, Page Employment, matching people to jobs since 1945. No application fees, Maine's oldest employment service. Seaboard Security, uniformed security officers. We also want to thank Northeastern Log Homes, Quality Log Homes. We want to thank Quality Jewelers, downtown Bangor. Fine jewelry there. Bangor Tire, caring for all your automobile needs. And we will pause now as we have our national anthem. Once again, we join. And now we are set to have the captains come out and meet with the officials. Once again, we want to thank Bangor Tire, caring for all your automobile needs. Carefree windows and siding, 1,300 different colors of siding available. Bangor Optical Vision Care for the whole family. Bangor Canvas, covering all your canvas needs. Tim Woodcock, attorney at law, experienced litigator, experienced representative before municipal boards and administrative laws. And Da Vinci Signs. Experience the Da Vinci difference at Da Vinci Signs, where Janine Savoy and Gary Parent understand what things they have that will make your business grow. Creativity, style, and craftsmanship. To experience the Da Vinci difference, contact Janine or Gary at 866-2242. Imagine the possibilities. Captains are out on midfield right now. Tracy, our officials for tonight?
Your referee is Mr. Neil Waterman. Your umpire is Doug Ferguson. Head linesman is Scott Heath. Line judge is Sean Kimball. And your back judge this evening is Fred Schlutt. One thing to notice, one of the things that the High School Federation and here in Maine we've been trying to do this year with the officiating crew, if schools so desires, add that back judge. That helps, that adds a fifth official, especially with pass plays deep down the field. It helps determine catch, no catch, and that kind of thing. He's also in charge of the play clock, counting down the play clock, and you'll see if we catch him throughout the course of the game, actually when the last 4 or 5 seconds are getting close to the end of the play clock, you'll see him actually count that. Not all schools have been doing it. Some have not.
It just makes for better coverage throughout the course of the game.
And an interesting note on that is that I know that they've done studies as to whether or not there are more penalties called when there are more officials on the field, thinking that that will lead to more flags. And in actuality, it appears that fewer penalties are called because of that extra set of eyes breaking up stuff before it actually happens. So actually less stuff, there are less flags a lot of times in a 5-man crew than there would be with a 4 because players don't think they can get away with things.
That's right, that's right. And we talk about that when we officiate, preventive officiating type stuff, getting into that kind of thing before it happens. You're absolutely right. It helps having an extra set of eyes to kind of keep an eye on things. And they do it for playoffs anyway. So when these teams will be getting into playoffs, they'll be having that official.
So Winslow won the toss. They deferred to the second half. Brewer will receive. Winslow will kick from left to right. When we return, we'll have the kickoff. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
1928 Bangor Tire was founded on simple concepts, offer quality products, price them right with service second to none. Vehicles have changed a lot over the years, and Bangor Tire leads the way with today's best products and service, like Cooper Tires, Monroe Shocks and Struts, and Walker Exhaust Parts. And the Shine Shop will make your pride and joy shine like new. So whether your car or truck needs brakes, a front end alignment, exhaust, some TLC, or the best in tire service, count on the folks you've trusted for 70 years. Bangor Tire Company.
When you have an important point to make, don't clutter up the ad with all sorts of extra information. If Page Employment doesn't charge workers a fee, then we should just say that. Page Employment doesn't charge workers a fee. No fee. There, we said it.
Welcome back to Doyle Field, everyone. We are set for the opening kickoff. Winslow and Brewer going at it. Adam, before this kickoff here, you know it's going to be a good, hard-fought match, but what do we expect to see right off the bat?
You're going to see a defensive game. Both teams came into this game averaging 34 points each, but it's the defense that's going to come into it. Winslow gives up 11, Brewer 8. This is going to be a low-scoring game. They're going to grind it out with the running game, and whichever defense can force the most turnovers is going to walk away this game victorious.
It's a rematch of last year's Eastern Maine final. They played a big game during the regular season as well last year. As we mentioned a couple times already, it seems like every time they meet, something's at stake, whether it's first place or a trip to the state championship. The first place, at least, is on the line here tonight, and we are set for the opening kickoff. The kick is fielded at about the 15-yard line. Returned out to the 27-yard line.
Ball's quickly on the ground there, but it looks like Brewer recovered the ball.
Yeah, Porter was hit and he fumbled. Luckily enough, Wilson was in there to recover it for the Witches.
Yeah. A little bit of a slow start then for Brewer and their key back, Ricky Porter, as he fumbles on the kickoff, but the quarterback does not cost his team the ball because Brewer recovered. Ricky Porter is the starting quarterback. He's a senior. Ben Caldwell also in the backfield, and Zach Wilson. All three backs are seniors. One man goes split to the right. That's Brad Brown. We'll get to the rest of the starting offense after this. Porter hands off. It goes to Zach Wilson. Wilson plows ahead and gets across the 35-yard line. Good gain on first down. I think Coach Ortego will take that every time. We'll set the offensive line. Jamie Ecker, a senior at left tackle. Matt Cormier at guard. Zach Sherry, center. Matt Wilson at guard. Right tackle is Scott Helmke. Tight end, Ryan Babin. Wide receiver, Phil Termel. Second down and 3 after a 7-yard pickup by Wilson on first. Handoff goes right up the middle to the fullback, Caldwell. He's able to pick up a first down. So far we've seen 2 running plays and both have been successful for Brewer.
A couple of interesting things from Winslow defensively here to start off. Their first play, they came out in a straight 5-3. In that last play, they pinched those tackles down over the guards. Created some natural running lanes off Brewer's tackle. So far, Brewer seems to be moving the ball with some success.
We'll set the Winslow defense after this play. First down and 10 from the 42. Porter gives to Wilson. maybe one on the play there. Stop made by the middle of the defensive line. That defensive line consists of Ryan Cosgrove at left end, Brian Fogg at left tackle, the nose guard, Barrett Hoskins. Tackle, Mike Rancourt, and the right end, Kevin McCabe. They have 3 linebackers, John Goulet, Steven Savitsky, son of the coach, and Brandon Bellows, and then cornerback, Justin Lindy. Right cornerback is James Wood. Strong safety, Brendan Weed.
Just to touch base on that running game of Brewer, their offensive line averages 212 pounds to only 197 on the Winslow defensive line, so size could be a matter here.
That's almost right around 15 pounds a man if you do it that way. This time an option pitch taken by Wilson.
Not a bad call right there. I mean, you've been running off tackle here last 2 or 3 plays. Fake that off tackle play and run an option, quick option. Not a bad call right there by Coach Ortego and his staff.
Wilson gets the ball to the 49-yard line where it's 3rd down and 4. 3 offensive plays so far. Sorry, 4 offensive plays, and 3 of them have gone to Wilson. The other one just to the fullback Caldwell straight up the middle, but some early success on the ground for Brewer. See if they stick with that. 3rd down and 4, just shy of midfield. This time it's Brown to the left side. They run in that direction with the option play again. The pitch to Wilson, and he finds his way through into open field. He picks up a block and he's down the sideline. Wilson with 1 man to beat. He gets turned in, he gets by him. Wilson inside the 5-yard line, and he is just shy of the goal line.
Again, the same kind of alignment from Winslow defensively, and a good job up front by the Brewer offensive line, create that initial hole for Wilson to find, and then he reversed his field, crossed his field, and used his athletic ability to get himself to the 1-yard line for 1st and goal situation for Brewer.
He had some great blocking on that. Ben Caldwell ran down the field just as fast as he did, making some key blocks, which led to that big run for Wilson.
That block by Caldwell is really what sprung him open. He got through the initial line and then needed 1 block. He picked it up, and that's why it's 1st down and goal. They spot it at the 2-yard line. Porter gives to Wilson, who can't get in. Nice defensive play made by, I believe it's 14 for Winslow. That would be Steven Savitsky.
Interesting combination there for the Black Raiders, using your quarterback there at linebacker. It says something for Mr. Savitsky, being able to handle both duties, linebacker and quarterback.
Well, he did the job right there on 1st down, so it's no gain, 2nd down and 2. Porter keeps it himself.
Kind of waiting for Brewer to use Porter in that situation. You run option a couple of times, kind of setting the defense up a little bit for that play. Been waiting to see that happen.
Porter's definitely a quarterback not afraid to run.
Absolutely, that's right.
He has a lot of rushing yards on the year for this team.
Coach Ortego saying it's well over 700. He gained 1 yard right there, which brings up 3rd down and goal from the 1. Same backfield we've seen every set so far. Caldwell, the fullback, Wilson, the tailback. Porter under center. Takes the snap, gives to Wilson. And he did not get in, which will bring up a 4th down and goal.
How about that, Nate? Winslow gives up the big run. They get down in the goal line situation. Brewer only needing 2 yards. They can't muster it up. The Winslow defense picked it up right there.
That right side of the line not giving any ground. Mike Rancourt's the right tackle. Kevin McCabe the right defensive end. And then you had the linebackers, Savitsky and Bellows.
Brewer may try to take advantage here of the wide side. They're on that left hash as we're looking at it. They might try to take advantage of that wide side of the field to spread out the defense a little bit.
See if they do try and run, which would be to their right. The backs are set. Brown is split out to that side. They run up the middle, and no signal yet. It appears they didn't get in. They did not. The Winslow defense holds. On 1st down and goal from the 2, the Winslow defense keeps Brewer out of the end zone, so they will take over. The Black Raiders do on offense.
Well, Adam, you mentioned it. I mean, that's a great stand right there. The Winslow defense had been giving up some decent chunks down the field. They get in tight to the goal line there and make a stand.
And that could make the game the rest of this way. That inches away. That could decide the game.
It could have set the tone early. Brewer could have set the tone early, coming out, getting a score on their first drive. Instead, they get all the way down to the 1 yard line and don't get in, so we'll see what the Black Raiders are able to do on offense. Their quarterback is a junior, number 14, Steven Savitsky. And this is a dangerous spot for any offense to be in because you can't lose any yardage at all or it's 2 points the other way. Savitsky hands off to the tailback, Lindy.
Not bad call right there. Get him some room. They get themselves out to looks like about the 5 yard line. Give them a little bit of room to work with, get them out of their end zone.
3 backs listed for the Winslow starting offense. John Goulet is the fullback. Justin Lindy, the tailback, and Jared Maroon will also see some carries back there. The offensive line from left to right, tight end Kevin McCabe, tackle Josh Mellows, guard Brian Fogg, center Mike Rancourt, right guard Kevin Harrison, right tackle Matt Gould, and right tight end Ryan Cosgrove. On second down, another running play and a short gain there.
McCabe is going to be one to watch here for the Black Raiders. He's a pretty good receiver. The quarterback Savitsky can throw the ball a little bit to him. He might be the extra card that Winslow has as the night goes on to open up the offense a little bit.
It's 3rd down and 2, Winslow's first possession of the game. We'll set the Brewer defense after this. Savitsky under center. Motion goes from right to left. They hand off and pick up a first down. It's Lindy.
That was a good tackle there made by Ricky Adams. Coming up from the backfield, making that tackle, trying to stop him. Wasn't able to stop him for the first down, but it was a great open field tackle by Adams.
Winslow does pick up the first, so first down and 10. They move the ball out to the 15-yard line. Split out to the right is Jared Maroon. Under center, Savitsky. Hands off to his fullback. Short gain there. Ben Caldwell in on the stop.
And those are the players who are going to make it happen for the Witches here defensively. Zach Wilson, Ben Caldwell, your athletes playing linebacker on defense. And again, those are the difference makers in a game like this.
2-yard gain. It's second down and 8. Once again, it's Maroon split out to the right. In motion goes Cosgrove. They run towards the motion and maybe a couple on the play.
Brewer put a lot of guys right at the line of scrimmage right there in the box. They're showing an even front, but they're putting a lot of guys right up front, which, you know, you got Winslow, who's got a talented backfield as well, and expecting a lot of run out of them. So Brewer, although not giving up the big plays that Winslow was defensively, Winslow getting some short chunks here and there.
Howard, not really a surprise, but we haven't seen a pass play yet tonight.
Not yet. I mean, they're both, ground attack teams, so not anything we didn't expect.
3rd down and call it 5. Handoff goes to Goulet. And he breaks free, breaks the tackle, and he's going to cross midfield. He's off to the races. Crosses the 30, down 20. 10-5, touchdown. John Goulet with the touchdown. Ball started at, as the drive started, or the snap was at the 19-yard line.
Adam, you talked about a nice block on the last Brewer run with Caldwell. Ryan Cosgrove there for the Black Raiders had a nice block out here just beyond the zone that really sprung that touchdown.
Yeah, and earlier this year, Tracy, Winslow played Gardner, and after the game, the Gardner coach said that Winslow's team is probably one of the fastest teams he's seen in Eastern Maine in a few years, and right there you just saw some great speed coming out of the backfield.
When your fullback can turn it on like that for 81 yards, then you better look out. Flags down on the play. And that was the fullback, just a dive up the middle to pick up a couple, and instead he broke it and was gone, and no one could catch him.
Well, again, the tight end Ryan Cosgrove made a key block there that kind of sprung him loose for that run.
The penalty is against Brewer here on the try, which will move it half the distance closer. Winslow set to kick, and as we mentioned earlier, Ben Poulin is one of the best around.
I'm not going to jinx him yet.
He gets the kick away, and it is good.
Hasn't missed one yet.
So, hung on to that just
I hung on to the jinx.
Both teams drive on their first possession, but only one gets points on the board. That's Winslow. They lead at 7-0 here with 3:53 to go in the first quarter. We'll be back after this. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
Security. You know what it means, and now you know where to find it. Seaboard. If you're responsible for a school, business, healthcare facility, or any other organization, the only word you need to know when it comes to keeping your facility secure is Seaboard. Because your students, customers, patients, employees, all the people who depend on you can depend on us. You just have to remember one word: Seaboard.
Welcome back to Doyle Field and Brewer, where the Black Raiders of Winslow have a 7-0 lead over the Witches. Winslow just scoring and will now kick off. During the kicking, Ben Poulin going to Ricky Adams. Adams breaks a tackle and returns it out to the 28-yard line. Brought down there by James Wood, and it'll be first down and 10 for Brewer.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Ricky Porter, the quarterback for Brewer, is returning kicks here. Not too often you see that, but on top of that, Porter just laid a huge block on number 62 of Winslow, who is a lineman. So Porter not afraid to throw his body around, and he's a quarterback. You don't see that too often.
Joe Perry's number 62. He's listed at 6'1", 200 pounds. Porter, on the other hand, he's listed at 5'11", 173, so he's even given up about, well, if you believe the listings, he's given up 27 pounds. Porter keeps this one himself on the option, tries to turn it up, but gets met at the line. Then a late pitch. Dangerous pitch by Porter to Zach Wilson, who just kept on fighting, and after all that effort and all that energy, it went for no gain.
You're right, Nate. As a coach, you see that pitch when he's wrapped up.
You
like
don't want to see that pitch, that's for sure.
Leads to disaster oftentimes, but I mean, they're fortunate that time, and you know, I think that's a credit to the athletic ability of both kids being able to pull that play off like that.
In traffic as well. Not only was he wrapped up, but his intended pitch man, Zach Wilson, was in traffic too.
Right.
No gain on the play, brings up second down and 10. Caldwell's the fullback, Porter under center. Handoff goes to Wilson. He tries to get to the left and is met in the backfield. Nice play that time.
That was Brandon Bellows in there on the tackle, and he made the tackle on the last play, and he's getting fired up because he's hitting some heads in his own huddle.
Bellows is a captain for Winslow. He plays linebacker, one of the seniors. Winslow doesn't have very many seniors on their squad.
There are a lot of juniors.
They only have 6 seniors on their roster, 16 juniors.
Which is the same group as sophomores that won the state championship last year.
Made it to the state championship.
Made it to the state championship, yeah.
And that was one of the things we touched base with Coach Savisky of Winslow. Is his team is young, but yet they play like they're very experienced.
They're young as in lack of seniors, but they do have experience. Back to pass, first pass of the game for Porter. He throws it complete. It's complete along the right sideline to number 20, Brad Brown.
Brown also an outfielder for the Witches baseball team, so he knows how to catch the ball, but did you see the hit that Brendan Weed laid on him after he caught the pass?
Right along the sideline, Weed got the hit on him, but Brown held on to the ball and picks up a big first down for Brewer when they were in danger of going 3 and out. Instead, they moved the ball across their 40, just shy of the 42-yard line, first down and 10. Brown this time lined up on the right side again, but there will be a handoff to Wilson. Gets up the middle, crosses the 45 to the 46 where he's dragged down.
Brewer's been staying with this I formation with the wing look here for this particular series. I think that they feel that it's kind of a balanced formation for them and allows them to do some different things out of it. And they're moving the ball down the field here. They had a nice pass play there the previous play to get a second down in 5 or 6 years. So moving the offense again.
1:40 left to go here in the first quarter. Fast-moving first quarter. That's what will happen when both teams like to have the ball on the ground. Winslow leads it 7-0. Caldwell gets the call. He runs along the right side and picks up a couple before he's brought down by number 52, Mike Rancourt, one of the other captains on the Winslow side of the ball. It'll be 3rd down and 3 at the 49.
Thus far, Nate, Zach Wilson's rushed the ball 9 times for 64 unofficial yards.
Wilson, the leading ball carrier for the Brewer side. Big 3rd down play here with Brown off to the left. Handoff goes to Caldwell. He blasts through one man and picks up a 1st down. There was no stopping Caldwell there. The initial contact was made up close to the line of scrimmage by Jared Maroon, but Caldwell kept his legs going, crossed the Winslow side of the field down to the 45 and picked up a 1st down.
Adam, you mentioned earlier the team speed for Winslow. One of the ways to try and beat the team speed is to run the option. Get those guys to commit early, and it'll set up your pitch and eventually an option pass. So I think Brewer's trying to stick with that right now and then seem to be out of this formation.
This may be the last play of the first quarter. Porter pitches to Wilson, tries to get out to the left. Not able to, though. Nicely pursued by Brandon Bellows.
Seems like we've been calling Bellows' name a lot lately here, as he seems to be getting into the backfield, making some tackles.
That play will be the final play of the first quarter as the seconds tick away. When we return, Brewer will have the ball at the Winslow 45. It'll be 2nd down and 11 after 1 quarter of play. Our score, Winslow 7, Brewer 0. We'll be back with the second quarter. After this, you're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
Northeastern Log Home's 4-star promise: to design the dream home that's perfect for you and your family, to ensure your home will be built with materials of the highest quality and durability and offered at a fair price, to deliver a complete easy build package with more of what you need, like Anderson windows, Owens Corning shingles, and Morgan doors, to provide factory direct expert assistance every step of the way for as long as you own your home.
Come visit us in Kenduskeag and we'll help build your dreams with our experience.
No matter how you stack it, Page Employment has jobs.
Welcome back, everyone, for the start of the second quarter. Winslow leading Brewer 7-0, but Brewer has the ball. It's 2nd down and 11. Ricky Porter, the quarterback for the Witches, drops back to pass. He rolls out to his right. Has time, but that time's quickly running away from him. He breaks it out to the left, flag down on the play, and this one will be coming back. Porter down inside the 30-yard line, but I believe this is going to be a hold back in the backfield, and that is the call from the referee, Neil Waterman.
It's unfortunate he had that whole left side wide open.
Yeah, there was a reason for that, though, I believe, is there was some grabbing going on. And
must have been that extra official they have.
No, see, he had to say that, didn't he? He had to add that in.
Neil Waterman would have been in that position.
That's
whether
right.
they have 4 men or 5.
Typical, you know, typical fan over here.
Now, Tracy, you do referee high school football, am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
And now here's one of the big differences between Federation rules, which are the high school rules that Maine uses, and NCAA rules, because and NFL for that matter, because NCAA rules, this would be marked off from the line of scrimmage. So you'd have the previous line of scrimmage, because it's a hold in the backfield. So you'd have 2nd down, and since it was 2nd and 11, you'd have 2nd and 21. Right. Instead, in Federation rules, no matter where it is, it's marked off from the spot of the foul. So instead of 2nd and 21, you have 2nd and 31, because the penalty was 10 yards in the backfield. So this is now 2nd and forever for the Witches. So they will pass on 2nd down. They look to set up the screen, but I believe Winslow defended that well. The pass is complete, though. They go to the other side, number 49, Ryan Babin.
Yeah, tough to tell, Nate, if that was a broken play or what happened. It might have been trying to set up the screen. Didn't have too many guys out here in the pattern, a couple of guys out here in the pattern, so I think you're right. It might have been trying to set up the screen.
Nice composure by Porter, though, if that was the design play, a screen pass, because he kept his poise and he was able to find his alternate receiver on the other side of the field. The problem is there's only a gain of 2 yards maybe, and it's 3rd and forever right now.
Winslow is very fundamentally sound on the line. They may be smaller in size, but they're doing some good moves, and they are getting in the backfield and rushing in on Porter. So regardless of the size, they are getting in the backfield.
Brad Brown comes out split wide to the right, and we'll have a stoppage of play. I believe timeout was called on the field.
Timeout, Brewer.
Brewer took the timeout. That gives us the chance to thank some of our sponsors. Page Employment, matching people to jobs since 1945. No application fees. They're Maine's oldest employment service. And Seaboard Security, uniformed security officers. 7-0. Winslow leads Brewer with 10:56 to play in the second quarter. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week. We'll return right after this.
During our lifetime, priorities change, and we begin to seek out products that enhance our lives. We move and we grow and come to realize what's truly important. We begin to understand the value of our time and see the results of investing wisely. Priorities change, standards don't. Paradigm Windows of Portland, Maine. Window solutions for life.
Available from Carefree Window and Siding Company. Call 989-4260. When you have an important point to make, don't clutter up the ad with all sorts of extra information. If Page Employment doesn't charge workers a fee, then we should just say that. Page Employment doesn't charge workers a fee. No fee. There, we said it.
A nice night for football, considering we're in mid-October and we see plenty of people in just a light jacket, even some shorts out there if you're hardy enough for that. 3rd down and long for the Witches. Porter will pass. Looked like he wanted to let go of the ball, had to pull it back in, then throws incomplete, broken up by number 22, John Goulet. The linebacker got back in pass coverage for the Black Raiders and well defended.
One of those classic situations where you go from offense to defense. Ryan Babin, the intended receiver, knew there was trouble coming with that short pass, went from offense to defense. An excellent play by the Winslow defender. Ryan Babin helped out in trying to break that play up.
Yeah, they got right into double coverage. Babin was there, Wood was there, both on the play, so someone was going to knock it down or come up with it.
Yeah.
So Brewer forced to punt here. Flag down on the play. The punt is by Brad Brown. It's a high punt and down at the 46-yard line. We'll see about the penalty. It's an illegal formation called against Brewer because they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage. So Winslow has a choice. Do you make him punt again, or do you take the field position at the 46-yard line? Anyone?
I take the field position.
I would too.
I take the field position.
Yeah.
And we talked about down the goal line here, a key point in the game. And I think this is a situation right here that we just make a note of as one of those points in the game that we can look back on and say, well, Brewer had the ball wherever they had it to start that drive. And here we are with Winslow getting the ball at the 46-yard line.
They do decline the penalty. Coach Slavisky listening to the crew up here, which why wouldn't you? Of course, right?
Right. So
they decline the penalty. It brings up 1st down and 10 for the Black Raiders at their own 46. Slavisky, who also is a standout baseball pitcher, is under center, and we got a penalty against the Witches. Somebody jumped on the defensive line. I believe it was Jeremy Smith who jumped in there, and that's going to be 5 yards. And every offensive coordinator's dream, the 1st and 5 setup. This is Winslow's 2nd possession of the game. They only had 1 possession in the 1st quarter, but they were able to score on it. The pitch goes outside to Lindy. Flag down on the play. Actually, that was Jared Maroon, the ball carrier. Number 24 caught the call. Holding against Winslow.
There's Tracy's favorite penalty.
Now, see, that's not true at all. We don't like to call those penalties.
They'll move it back, and it'll end up being first down and looks to be 16 maybe. First and 16 after the call.
Holding against Winslow. 10-yard penalty for the call. Brings the ball back to the 39-yard line. First down and 17.
So the home crowd here happy about that. They haven't had too much to cheer about early in this first half. They did have the long drive, a big drive by Brewer, but it came up short at the goal line. Winslow in a split formation now. Savitsky will pass. First time we've seen him throw, and it's incomplete, intended for Ryan Cosgrove. Quick pass to the tight end, but wasn't brought in, so it's second down.
Quick seam pass there. I think the Winslow staff is seeing Brewer kind of bunched up the line of scrimmage there. They have a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage, a lot of guys in the box. Quick seam pass, try and get him out of it. Decent pass by Savitsky. Just couldn't get hold on to it there by the tight end.
So second down. Coming out to the left is McCabe. He's on the line of scrimmage. He's the split end in this case here. They go right up the middle. Worked before. Goulet. But this time the Witches able to bring him down after a gain of maybe 3 yards, and it'll be third down and long.
Josh Caldwell, Zach Wilson, and Anthony No all in there on that tackle. It was a gang tackle there by Brewer.
And after what he was able to do the last time he carried the ball.
3-yard gain on the play to the 42-yard line, third down and 14.
It's third down and 14. Lindy jumps one would-be tackler, another flag down on the play. He's close to a first down. It looks like he's just shy, and this is a holding call against Winslow. So it would have been fourth down and a yard. Instead, I believe Brewer will take the penalty. I don't think you want to give him fourth down and 1.
No, I would advise take the penalty here.
Winslow really shooting themselves in the foot here. They get a big gain on a run, and it gets called back from a holding call.
That is the call, so it's a 10-yard penalty, and it brings up third down, and now both teams have had some long conversion yardage that they've needed to get. Third down and over 20. Looks like 22 or 23 yards here for Winslow to pick up a first instead of fourth down and 1. So we'll see if Savitsky puts the ball in the air here. Neither team with much success passing.
It looks like they come out into cover 2 to defend against, expecting the pass.
Instead they pitch it out. Maroon, the ball carrier, tries to pick up a block and then gets dragged down by number 5 of Brewer. That's Zach Wilson, the senior linebacker, who's able to get out there and make the tackle. So Winslow will have to punt.
Matt Wilson on that play for the Brewer defense plays a tackle. He may not have made the play there, forced the back to stop, change the direction a little bit, gave the rest of the Brewer defense a chance to catch up. One of those small things that you look for in these kinds of games as it goes on.
In that case, he allowed his brother to come clean up Zach Wilson, the linebacker. So working together there. Winslow to punt, and back to receive it, calling for a fair catch is Ricky Adams. He makes the catch at around his 20-yard line. Brewer will start there with 8:18 to go in the second quarter. Winslow leads this one 7-0. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
Selection without service would be like sunshine without the warmth. Our jewelers have the experience and the tools to renew, repair, or even create jewelry with the warmth of real quality. We're Quality Jewelers. Browse in our new, larger location across from the Fleet Bank building on Exchange Street in downtown Bangor. Security. You know what it means, and now you know where to find it. Seaboard. If you're responsible for a school, business, healthcare facility, or any other organization, the only word you need to know when it comes to keeping your facility secure is Seaboard. Because your students, customers, patients, employees, all the people who depend on you can depend on us. You just have to remember one word: Seaboard.
Welcome back to Brewer, everyone. First down and 10 for the Witches. Ricky Porter takes the snap. The option play again. This time it's Caldwell, the senior. They've hit that fullback a lot on the option. It seems like more often than not they're going to the fullback.
Well, I think you're finding, or they're finding, a natural seam in that Winslow defense, at least early. Blocking down that tackle, getting that tackle taken care of, and that creates a natural seam between the tackle and the end. And this is a chance for Brewer to respond now offensively. They had their opportunity here defensively. They made their stand, and a chance for Brewer now to respond offensively.
Brewer trails this one 7-0. Winslow scoring on their opening drive. This is Brewer's third possession of the game, 2nd down and 2. Ball came loose on the handoff, and it appears Winslow has the ball, and they do. The Black Raiders recovered. I'm not sure that ball ever got exchanged correctly.
I don't think so. And obviously with the option, the quarterback, it's finally up to the quarterback to either let the ball stay in the fullback's hands or keep it himself, and sometimes this is what happens. You have a loose ball there. Unfortunate for the Witches offense.
So Winslow starting with great field position at the Brewer 30-yard line after the turnovers. Adam, you said the turnovers would be key, and, well, that could be a big one. We'll see if Winslow's able to convert. Straight up the middle they go on first down.
Winslow's gone to more of a T formation offensively this time around. That time Savisky keeps it. If you get athletes back there in that T formation, you got to be awake on defense to defend against that.
Savisky just quickly up the middle on that, and he picked up 7 yards, so 2nd down and 3. That's Savisky's first carry, so it's not something we've seen him do that often, but taking advantage of an opening right there on first down. 2nd down carries by Lindy. He gets into the open field along the right side, and he's brought down inside the 5-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle that time by Ricky Porter, but big gain for the Black Raiders on 2nd down, and it sets up 1st down and goal.
Kind of a counterplay there by Winslow. They reverse, the quarterback comes out, reverses, reverse pivots. You get the counter handoff, and obviously a big play for the Black Raiders.
1st down and goal from the 3. 3 guys in the backfield, but it's going to be the quarterback trying to keep it himself, and he is in. Flag down on the play, though. Holding against Winslow. And Coach Savisky throwing his arms up on that one. That's a tough holding call in the middle of the line when a team's just trying to dive the ball up the middle.
Well, this is just another case, Nate, as I touched on earlier, of shooting yourself in the foot. They're getting the yards on the ground. It's coming back and haunting them with the holding penalties.
You don't want to do anything that resembles a hold in that case, because the worst case scenario is your guy makes the tackle and you don't gain any yards, and you have 2nd and goal from the 4. Instead, it's 1st down, but the ball's moved out to the 11-yard line. Winslow back to the split formation. Last play they had 3 backs in the backfield. Savisky to pass, and it's caught. Touchdown. Quick pass to Kevin McCabe, an 11-yard touchdown pass. Good call on the 1st down and long, and they get the touchdown.
We talked about McCabe earlier. He was one of the pieces in the Winslow offense, that extra player that they had as a receiver. You know that Savisky can throw the ball, and there McCabe actually looked like he had juggled it briefly before he went in. Made a pretty good athletic move to keep the ball.
Savisky also a great pitcher at Winslow, and he threw a good strike right there for the touchdown.
The point after try is good. And our score, with 6:41 to play in the 2nd quarter, is Winslow 14, Brewer 0. We'll be back after this. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
matter how you stack it, Page Employment has jobs.
Welcome back, everyone. We want to mention the Brewer Parks and Recreation Department is currently offering the following programs this fall: youth and adult karate lessons, adult co-ed volleyball leagues, youth baton twirling classes, youth art classes, senior exercise class, scrapbooking classes, after-school programs for grades K through 8, open gym volleyball, and youth soccer for grades K through 8. Further information can be obtained by contacting the Brewer Parks and Recreation Department at 989-5199. Winslow to kick off from left to right here as Brewers down 2 scores. Zach Wilson takes the ball, finds a seam, still on his feet. Good return and gets it out to the 45-yard line. Nice return by Wilson, who seemed like he was in some trouble there, but found just the tiniest holes and made his way through them.
That's just the response Brewer needed. Nice long return, gets them out in the middle of the field to start their offense. Just what the Witches needed here offensively to get themselves in position to get a score.
That was a great stiff arm he had, as he went another 5 yards after he threw that stiff arm.
And he hit Brandon Weed, who's been all over the place for the Black Raiders. So Weed not an easy guy to deal with, but that time a stiff arm working for Wilson. First down and 10 for Brewer. Porter hands it off to his fullback, Caldwell.
Again, an interesting defensive lineup for Winslow, showing the 5-3. Coach Poulin, the defensive coordinator for Coach Savisky over there for years. In the past, Winslow's been a big 4-4 team. So an interesting alignment for Winslow. They've been showing a lot of this 5-3 here tonight, I suspect, to try and defend against Brewer's running attack.
Well, the air attack, they've completed 2 passes over there, Howard.
Right, 2 passes for 17 yards.
They've only attempted 3, so the completion percentage is pretty good, but the yardage, they'd like to gain some right here, whatever way they can, whether through the air or on the ground. They're going to try and run the option play. The pitch goes to Zach Wilson. Flag down and block in the back. Pretty obvious block in the back against the Witches. Wilson brought down after a short gain.
Wilson on the carry.
If you're going to block someone in the back, 1, you don't want to do it in front of the referee, and 2, I wouldn't recommend doing it in front of your coach as well.
Good point.
It is kind of the double whammy, isn't it?
Tough for Coach Ortego to argue this one, as you mentioned. It did happen.
And that's a hard thing with kids, you know. They're just trying to
make the play.
They're trying to make the play. And as coaches,
it wasn't malicious. It
no,
was just those plays they can't allow them because
right.
they do get dangerous.
Right.
And they put players at risk, but that wasn't the intent of anyone involved. It's just has to be against the rules, and it is. So it's a loss on the play instead of no gain. It's 2nd down and 18. They got to get basically to the Winslow 45-yard line to pick up a first. Porter with Termel in motion and flags down. False start against Brewer. Another 5 yards back, and penalties.
Well, Adam
have been a factor.
Adam mentioned at the beginning, and yeah, you're right, absolutely right. It's becoming a factor now. Winslow had some early penalties. Brewers having their share of them now, and as Adam said, those are the things, especially in a game like this, that can really hurt you.
Approaching the 5-minute mark left here in the first half. Brewer now with, seems like most of this half they've had 2nd or 3rd down and extremely long. That's the case again. They call it 2nd and 23. So we'll see what they're able to do. See if Porter's able to get them going. He pitches to Wilson. Wilson twirls ahead for, well, he probably got the 5-yard penalty back before being brought down by Brandon Bellows.
Adam, you talked about Winslow's speed. We've talked about it a couple of times, and right there was a situation. Thought he saw a hole there. That seam closed pretty quickly, and the Winslow defenders really closed on that quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, the defensive backs, they're moving up. They're showing their speed. Any little hole that maybe there, it's closed instantly. And that was just another case of Brandon Bellows finding that hole and sealing it before Wilson could get there.
Third down and almost 20. Porter will pass. Wanted to go deep, but brought it back in. Now see where he looks. He's going across the field, and it's incomplete. Fought for and almost caught out there by big number 82, Caleb Roberts. He's listed at 6'2". He looks even bigger than that out there, but he wasn't able to bring it in, and it's fourth down.
He had him open initially, doing the post across the middle of the field. Had him open the middle of the field. Tough thing to see back there. It's down 20-some-odd yards down the field. Didn't see him a little too late, but had him open in the middle of the field there quickly before he threw the ball.
And then when he was deciding to throw the ball, both his receivers that were downfield were both in double coverage.
Right, right.
Back to punt, Brad Brown. He gets the punt away. Takes a hop in favor of the Black Raiders, so even the bounces right now going against the Witches. Winslow will start from their own 39. First down and 10 from there. When we return, you're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
During our lifetime, priorities change, and we begin to seek out products that enhance our lives. We move and we grow and come to realize what's truly important. We begin to understand the value of our time and see the results of investing wisely. Priorities change, standards don't. Paradigm Windows of Portland, Maine. Window solutions for life.
Available from Carefree Window and Siding Company. Call 989-4260. When you have an important point to make, don't clutter up the ad with all sorts of extra information. If Page Employment doesn't charge workers a fee, then we should just say that. Page Employment doesn't charge workers a fee. No fee. There, we said it.
Welcome back, everyone. First down for Winslow. Hit immediately on the handoff is Justin Lindy.
Again, Matt Wilson there on the play. Made a nice play defensively, shed his blocker, made a nice play.
They tried to fake it to the fullback, Goulet. No one on the Witches sideline bought that, though, and they got Lindy on his way through. Gain of a yard, second down and 9. Maroon split far to the left. Back to pass is Savitsky. Gets the pass away, incomplete. Intended for John Goulet.
This is another situation, I think, where the Brewer defense has to make a stand here to get their offense the ball back.
That's for sure.
We're 3 minutes and change here in the first half.
They don't want to go into the locker room down 3 scores.
Right.
This is a key possession in this game.
Well, the momentum has been with Winslow ever since they stopped that ball on the goal line. Brewer needs to get some momentum going into halftime to stay in this game. Not saying that they're out of it, but they need to do something big here.
At least a stand. Once again, Maroon comes out towards our side, far left. McCabe in motion from left to right. And there's a flag down on the play. Delay a game called. 5-yard penalty against the Black Raiders. Brings it third down and 14 instead of third and 9.
Now, Tracy, how long does the offense have to get the play off?
25 seconds from now, right from when Neil gives it ready for play, is 25 seconds. And if you watch the back judge here, when they're getting close, you probably actually see him start to count.
Almost like a basketball official.
Yeah.
Third down, McCabe in motion. Back to pass, Savitsky gets it away, but it's intercepted. It's Porter with the interception. He's looking for some room, crosses midfield, and that's where he'll be brought down. That could be a turning point right there. The first turnover of the game for Winslow. It's intercepted by Brewers quarterback Ricky Porter. He gets it to midfield, and now the Brewer offense will come out.
You expect your athletes to make your big plays, and Adam mentioned getting a turning point for the Witches. Maybe this is it for them, a momentum change. Your athlete makes a great play out there to tip it to himself and get a decent return out of it, and they get the ball in midfield.
Well, with 3 minutes and 5 seconds left, I can tell you Brewer goes into the locker room only down 1 score. They should consider that an accomplishment considering how the first half went for them.
And how fitting is that the leader of their offense, their quarterback, comes up with the interception.
First down and 10, right at midfield. Brown in motion. Delayed handoff goes to Wilson, and he is met and brought down. Brian Fogg in on that hit. Fogg also a great wrestler. So the clock continues to run, 2:45 and counting here in the second quarter. Winslow leading 14-0. Fielding terrific condition considering how late in the year it is.
Yeah, it is. It is. They do a great job here with the facility.
Phil Turmel is split close to our side. In motion goes Wilson. They run the option play. Porter keeps it and comes close to the original line of scrimmage. It'll bring up third down and 10. Nice play that time, tracking him down by Ryan Cosgrove.
Well, we've mentioned it numerous times already, and it's team speed. That it's a hard thing to try and defeat is team speed, and I think that again was another situation where Winslow's speed caught up with the play. There was a hole there initially, and it just closed up quickly.
So it's third down. Porter will pass, rolling out to his left. Flag down on the play. Throws it up for grabs, and that's intercepted. There were 4 defenders there. He just threw it up, and I believe it was John Goulet making the interception for the Black Raiders. It was. We will check on the flag. Looks like they're going to pick it up.
Indication was holding, I believe, against Brewer. Winslow obviously declined that.
There's a flag down on the far side as well, close to the original line of scrimmage. That must be the same call.
Same call, yeah.
Penalty is declined. So the interception will stand. So now the Witches turn the ball over, and Winslow has it first down with 1:29 to play. They're at their own 30-yard line, so they'll try and get something going here late in the first half. Ball carried by Lindy. Correction, that's Jared Maroon with the carry.
Josh Mel's pulling on that situation, had a nice kick-out block there to enable Lindy to get up the field. And this could be a situation for Ben Poulin if they get down there close enough to maybe try a field goal.
Time continuing to run, gain of 5, second and 5. Lindy is the tailback. Goulet the fullback. Ball goes to Lindy. Small gain on the play. It'll be third down and short. And if neither team calls a timeout, it looks like they're both going to just be content to
it appears that way.
Go into the locker room.
Jared Maroon, Nate, he's very versatile. You'll see him line up in the backfield, but he's been lining out in the wide receiver position a lot too as well.
Equipment timeout.
The officials stop the clock with 33 seconds to go in the second quarter. So they'll reset the play clock and wind it up again. So this could end up being, if it stays in bounds and they don't throw it incomplete, it could be the last play of the half. Once again, as you mentioned, Maroon comes way out, split to the left. Cosgrove is split far right. Winslow letting the clock tick down. They hand it off to Goulet. He picks up a first down with 3 seconds left. The clock is stopped. And unless Winslow wants to, they don't have to run another play. I don't believe Brewer will call a timeout, and that will end up being the end of the first half. Our score at the end of one half of play, Winslow 14, Brewer 0. We'll be back with halftime after this. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
Selection without service would be like sunshine without the warmth. Our jewelers have the experience and the tools to renew, repair, or even create jewelry with the warmth of real quality. We're Quality Jewelers. Browse in our new, larger location across from the Fleet Bank building on Exchange Street in downtown Bangor. Security. You know what it means, and now you know where to find it. Seaboard. If you're responsible for a school, business, healthcare facility, or any other organization, the only word you need to know when it comes to keeping your facility secure is Seaboard. Because your students, customers, patients, employees, all the people who depend on you can depend on us. You just have to remember one word: Seaboard.
Back here at Doyle Field, it's halftime. 14-0 is the lead. Brewer over Winslow. You're watching Brewer Youth Football going at it. That's the halftime entertainment, and we don't really have a roster with any of these guys' names or anything, but we still give them a chance to get on TV. And as we watch these guys, Howard Kroll and I will go through some of the first half stats. Howard, you've been keeping them so far, and well, it's been mostly on the ground and really a story of one big play in this game that's really been a big difference.
Oh, absolutely. Winslow had that one touchdown for 81 yards, and kind of set the tone when Brewer couldn't punch it in from the 1 yard line on four straight carries. But let me go ahead and run down the Winslow statistics for you. Justin Lindy had 4 carries for 24 yards. John Gallay had 7 carries for 109 yards and 1 touchdown. Jared Maroon had 2 carries for 13 yards, and Steve Savitsky had 1 carry for 6 yards. Savitsky also serves as a quarterback. He was 2 for 4 with 1 touchdown to Kevin McCabe, and he had 1 INT.
Now on the other side of the ball, Brewer, they had that big opening drive where they got the ball. Look at this little guy. Nice play right there as he runs forward. Brewer had that big opening drive where they got the ball down to the 1 yard line. So statistically, they're right up there yardage-wise, but they weren't able to get into the end zone. So on the scoreboard, they're down 2 scores.
Absolutely. One point I want to make is Brewer was 6 straight carries for no yards, and that kind of put them in a position that they're in. But let me go ahead and run down the numbers for him. Ricky Porter had 4 carries for 3 yards. Ben Caldwell, 5 carries for 26 yards. Zach Wilson had 12 carries for 66 yards. Ricky Porter, also the quarterback, was 2 for 5 for 17 yards and 1 INT. Brad Bound had 1 catch for 15 yards, and Ryan Babin had 1 reception for 2 yards. And score stands 14-0.
Most of the damage done on the ground, both teams passing, but almost just as a token, or either they just wanted to show some passing, except I should note that Winslow touchdown. That was a nice pass play completed in the cave, and he was able to get in. But for the most part, it seems like they're just passing to keep the defenses honest, or else because they've had long conversion yardage.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen anything, Nate, that we didn't expect. We knew coming in that both teams had strong ground attacks and ran the ball well, and could throw a little bit here when they need to. We knew both teams defensively were fairly tough. And as we talked about in the first half, in games like this, mistakes, penalties are often the difference. And I think that's what we're seeing so far here throughout the first half.
Of course, as we talk about the Brewer-Winslow game going on, we want to note, again, we're watching Brewer Youth Football. We're not actually talking about the little guys we see out on the field right now, although they are entertaining, and the black team seems to be moving the ball on orange. But, Adam, if you're Coach Ortego, what do you say to your guys right now, or what changes can you make to put up some points in the second half and make this a game here?
Well, the first thing you got to tell them, this game is far from over. There's still 2 quarters to play. Second, you got to cut down on the penalties. You have some penalties that are hurting you right now, and keep going with the ground attack. You're moving the ball well. Wilson's doing a good job carrying it, and so is Caldwell. So really, you got to stay with the game plan you have, cut down on the penalties. And another note on that, Nate, is Brewer's had 2 turnovers. Well, actually 3 now. And out of those 3 turnovers, Winslow has scored on both those turnovers. We had a turnover on downs. It led to a 81-yard run by Winslow. They fumbled the ball, which led to another touchdown by Winslow. So you can't turn the ball over. You cut down on the penalties, and you stick with the game plan. And this game, there's still 2 quarters to go. There's a lot of football to go.
And Brewer's shown that they're able to move the ball. They just weren't able to get it in. That defensive line of Winslow coming up huge on first down and goal from the 2.
You may see Brewer try to do some misdirection here in the second half to try and slow that Winslow defense down. And if I'm Coach Savitsky and his staff here at halftime, let's just continue to do what we do. We've been handling the ball fairly well. We also have to cut down on penalties. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Brewer can certainly come back. They have the capability to do that, especially with the offense that they do have. So as we said, certainly it's halftime. It's halftime, and what we knew would be a good game, and nothing that we have seen so far that we didn't expect.
Well, Tracy, you were talking earlier with Nate and I before the game.
As the black team gets in the end zone.
Earlier before the game that Brewer has gone to places, and a place like Gardner, a tough place to play. They were down and were able to come back and win. You've refereed, I'd imagine, down in Gardner. What is it like to not only play there and to be down, but to come back?
Well, Gardner, I mean, they get great fan support down there. When I coached at Waterville, we had great games down there. One not so great, but it's a big crowd down there. It's kind of a bowl atmosphere type thing. A great atmosphere. I mean, it's a great atmosphere for high school football. And yeah, that's quite an accomplishment what they were able to do, being down 14 and to be able to come back in that atmosphere and win the ball game. So again, as we've discussed, certainly we're halftime. I mean, and I think Brewer will make some adjustments, and as you mentioned with Coach Ortego, talking to the kids, and hey, we got to cut down the penalties.
As we finish watching Brewer youth football here, it's halftime. Winslow leading Brewer 14-0. We're going to take a short break. We'll let you watch some of these young future witches. At least I imagine that's what the plan is as of right now. Coach Ortego hoping some of these guys come through and play on his team someday. We'll let you watch these guys, and we're going to take a break. We'll come back with the second half after this. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
In 1928, Bangor Tire was founded on simple concepts, offer quality products, price them right with service second to none. Vehicles have changed a lot over the years, and Bangor Tire leads the way with today's best products and service, like Cooper Tires, Monroe Shocks and Struts, and Walker Exhaust Parts. And the Shine Shop will make your pride and joy shine like new. So whether your car or truck needs brakes, a front end alignment, exhaust, some TLC, or the best in tire service, count on the folks you've trusted for 70 years. Bangor Tire Company.
No matter how you stack it, Page Employment has jobs.
Welcome back, everyone. Doyle Field, home of the Witches, where the Witches are trailing at halftime 14-0. Winslow, who won the toss in the first half, they deferred, will obviously elect this time to receive the ball, and Brewer will have to kick off. They'll be going from our left to our right. Tracy, what does Brewer have to do to come out here in the second half?
Cut down on the penalties. I mean, that was the thing, that drive they had going earlier in the first quarter. Couple of key penalties drove them back. Need to start to pick up a little more defensively, stop the big play that Winslow seems to be getting. Again, we're starting the second half. They're certainly capable of scoring some points. We all know that. They have the offense that can do that. And again, I think the biggest thing for them right now is the penalties.
And Adam, if you're Winslow, what have you done right in the first half that you want to keep doing in the second half?
Well, you've ran the ball very effectively. Keep up the run game. Brewer really hasn't been able to step up and stop that run game, so keep that up. Also, you got to cut down on the penalties. Winslow has their fair share amount of penalties also. And if you figure if you take away those penalties, we may not be looking at a 14-0 score. We could be looking at a wide open game.
Howard, what player are we going to watch on each side of the ball here in the second half?
I would say John Goulet for Winslow and Zach Wilson for Brewer. I mean, they both have been the big runners here, and I'm sure they'll keep it up.
The kickoff is away. It was Dan Julie with the kick. Big return for the Black Raiders. James Wood on the return out across the 45-yard line, so great field position for Winslow, where they will start their first drive of the second half.
Winslow coming right out in the second half, picking up where they left off in the first half, picking up a big play, a great return there, and that's already the first big play of the second half.
Winslow, the defending Eastern Maine champions. They lost in the state championship to Mountain Valley last year. Looking to get back there again with a junior-laden team. But a lot of these guys played last year, including Justin Lindy. He's one of those juniors who saw a lot of action last year. He got the call on that play, but wasn't able to gain any yards. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Jamie Ecker there with a nice play there right in the Brewer defensive line, and that's the kind of thing they're going to need. Make a big defensive stand here, get Winslow to punt, and get the ball back and start their offense moving.
Ecker also one of the captains on this Brewer team, showing that not only is he a captain, but he's ready to lead this defense.
2nd down and 10. The pitch, Brewer in the backfield quickly and locked down for a loss is Lindy. Brewer was back there fast. Good hit that time. Zach Wilson, number 5, was back there. They also got to the quarterback, and there's an injured Black Raider down. Not sure who that was.
I think they might be hooked up.
Oh, are they tied together? Face masks hooked up there. There's what we're looking at. This is always kind of comical when it happens, as long as no one's hurt.
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen an instance where face masks have been locked together.
Well, what can happen sometimes, either get locked together or they get locked together in their pads. Both kids making a good job, doing a good job right there. Neither one of them got real angry at the other, just kind of waited for things to happen, and we got unhooked.
So
glad no one got hurt.
That's right. That's right.
It's a loss on the play, though, and the ball is moved back out to the Winslow 40-yard line. 3rd down and 16. We've seen a lot of 2nd down and 3rd downs that have well more than 10 yards to gain for a first. See what Winslow does on this one. They give to the fullback, Goulet. And he plows ahead, and he's going to be close to a first down. He was just dragging Brewer players with him. He was surrounded by Black, and he gets it all the way down to the 45-yard line. That's a 15-yard pickup, but he's going to be a yard shy. And now what do you do if you're Mike Savitsky?
Well, I think you'll see he's going to go. I mean, he knows he's got kids in the backfield that can get that yard for him. As we can see, I think it looks like he's going to try and go for it.
4th down and 1.
This is a big play for Brewer. Every time they've had 3rd and long, Winslow's been able to move the ball. This is going to be a big stand for Brewer if they can stop him.
3 backs in the backfield. We had offensive and defensive movement. And it is against the defense. They crossed into the neutral zone, forcing the offensive player to move, and that will be against the defense. There used to be the rule that you had to make contact on defense and the offense couldn't flinch, but That rule has since been changed where if the guy right on your head jumps across. And,
well, in Federation, if you break that neutral zone, yeah, that's going to be an automatic.
So it's a first down. Another costly penalty for the Witches, giving an automatic first to Winslow. Option play, strung out well, and just a slight gain there. Well defended that time, as it seemed like every member of the Brewer defense who was assigned well, I should say they just stuck to their assignments.
Option responsibilities, quarterback, pitch. You notice that time Savitsky kept the ball a long time. He wasn't quite sure if he wanted to give the fullback through off the tackle or keep it himself and pitch it. Kept it a little bit longer there that time.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it seems like Brewer's coming out defensively here with a lot more intensity to start the second half.
Second down and 9. Second man through is Lindy.
Zach Wilson coming through on a blitz that time, showing it early. And as you said, Adam, Brewer seems to be playing a little more aggressively this half defensively and trying to make some stands here.
Both the Wilson kids, Matt and Zach, both really playing hard here. As earlier, it was Matt Wilson that drove down Savitsky when they got locked up, so both of them are playing hard here.
Third down and 8. Back to pass, Savitsky. Gets it away and well defended. Once again, it's the quarterback, Ricky Porter, stepping up, making the big play. He had an interception in the first half. This time the safety comes up and knocks the ball down and forces a fourth down.
And again, you expect your athletes in games like this to make big plays for you, and there's a prime example right there. Your athlete makes a great play for you and puts them in a good position to get back on the field offensively.
Justin Lindy is back in punt formation for the Black Raiders.
Note that Brewer has no one back to return the kick, so they're going to take the chance that this ball is going to roll into the end zone.
He gets the kick away, and it does just that. It rolls right into the end zone, so Brewer will start after the touchback on their own 20. We want to thank some of our sponsors. This is the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week. We want to thank Northeastern Log Homes, Quality Log Homes, Quality Jewelers, downtown Bangor, Fine Jewelry, Bangor Tire Care, caring for all your automobile needs. Carefree windows and siding, 1,300 different colors of siding available. Bangor Optical, vision care for the whole family. Bangor Canvas, covering all your canvas needs.
Did you say 1,300?
Wow. 1,300 different colors.
Wow.
I didn't know there were that many
That's
colors.
quite a rainbow.
What, I mean, don't you run out of red after a while? Ball loose on the ground, and just like that, Winslow has the ball back. I don't think they ever got the snap to Porter. It looked like it just came right out of his hands immediately, and that is a gift to the Black Raiders that they may be able to capitalize on here in the third quarter.
Tough play right there, obviously. I mean, you made a stand defensively, get the ball back, a chance to get a decent drive going. Let's see if the defense here can regroup once again for the Witches.
They have to now. The defense in a tough position. The turnover gives Winslow the ball at the Brewer 18-yard line. They run the option. Nice job. Well defended. Number 72, Matt Wilson, once again having his name called because, well, defensive plays like that, you will get your name called.
Matt Wilson, he's a great lineman. He's fundamentally sound. He's breaking through that line, and he's getting to Savitsky, and he's getting to him fast. Savitsky has to make up his mind real quick. Do I throw it away, or what do I do here?
He's cutting Savitsky off before Savitsky even gets to the outside. Savitsky doesn't even have a chance to pass, to pitch the ball because Wilson's there ready to meet him. Second down and 15 after the loss. This time Savitsky will try and get the pass away. He does, incomplete. He had to throw off his back foot because of pressure by Zach Wilson. So the other Wilson brother that time, introducing himself yet again to the quarterback, Steven Savitsky.
How about the hit he laid on him? Did you guys see that one?
Absolutely.
Again, for Brewer's defense, this is a third and long situation we've been talking about throughout the game, and a chance for them once again to make a stop. I'm going to assume that Winslow at this point is in four-down territory, but again, a couple of big plays here. Once again, puts the Brewer offense in pretty good shape once again.
Well, even if Winslow can pick up maybe 10 yards, they might think about bringing Ben Poulin out to attempt a field goal. Right now, they might not be going necessarily for a first down. They might just be looking to get closer. And they run a quarterback keeper, Savitsky right up the middle, He breaks it to the outside and then loses the ball. The ball comes loose. And it is it recovered or knocked out of bounds?
It was pretty close. Wilson gave a good chase on it and dove for it.
It is recovered by Brewer apparently, and
big play right there.
The Witches get the ball back.
It's definitely been a completely different second half so far defensively for Brewer. A lot more intensity out there, and as I mentioned earlier, guys, the key to this game was going to be the defense and the team that forced the most turnovers.
Well, they also have to capitalize on them, especially when you're already down 14-0. So see if Brewer can do that. First down and 10. They're at their own 6-yard line. Right up the middle. Ben Caldwell. And he's close to picking up a first down.
Good hard run there by Caldwell, right off tackle, right up the middle. Gets him out of the shadow of that end zone. And now good work. It gives him a good second and short situation.
I think the key here will be is if Brewer can establish the run game early. Caldwell's been doing a great job running the ball. He's a hard man to tackle, so he's a pretty big boy at the fullback position. So if they can establish the run early here, we could be looking at an even tighter game.
Second man this time, Wilson. He takes a couple of hits as a flag comes in from the umpire. Not usually a good sign for the offense. And it's not. Another penalty on Brewer. So it was second down and 1. And instead it's going to be probably second down and, I don't want to guess, 8? I guess I will guess.
Yeah. Looks like the spot is beyond the stick.
Another holding call against Brewer. The penalties just continue to add up.
I think we might be looking at more than 8.
We're looking at less than 8. Second down and 7.
Who are these guys down here at the other end?
I was going to say, I want to take them to Vegas with me.
Brewer right back up the middle again. Caldwell gets the call. The officials stop the clock as they want to check it out, and they do give them a first down. So Brewer able to pick up a first down after the penalty.
Zach Sherry there leading the charge. The Brewer offensive lineman had a nice initial charge out through the zone there for the Witches, and enabled Caldwell to get the extra yardage.
This is when Brewer really needs to take advantage of their size on the line. They're a lot bigger than Winslow. They need to push them back to give their running backs a little bit more room in the backfield.
See if they're able to do it here on first down. Porter tries to get out to the left, and another flag down. Face mask call. This one's against Winslow. So Brewer will gladly accept that. We have 6:44 to play here in the third quarter. I'm Nate Long along with Adam Mahaney, Tracy Willett, and Howard Kroll, bringing you this Page Employment Seaboard Securities game of the week. It's 14-0. Winslow leading Brewer. 5-yard penalty for the face mask. And it's first down and call it 3.
Great situation for the Witches right now. A chance to convert, get another first down, get down the field. They're slowly getting their way out of their own end zone there and
this
moving
drive,
the ball.
It started at their own 6. They got it out to the 23 now, so they're out of the shadow of their own end zone anyway. Brewer trying to run the ball along the right side. It was Wilson who was running that direction, and looks like they picked up another first down. They only needed 3, and Wilson give them 4 on the carry. So another first down for Brewer.
Adam, you hit on it earlier, and again, the intensity seems to have been ratcheted up a little bit here in the second half by both teams. Some good hits going on down there, some hard running going on. I think kids realize the importance of tonight, and they're playing that way.
First down and 10. 6 minutes left to play in the third quarter and running. Ricky Porter, the senior, once again taking on the Winslow Black Raiders. gets out to the right, and he's going to keep it himself. He's stood up after a short gain by John Goulet. Not much hesitation that time in Porter, whether he was going to pitch the ball or keep it. He pretty much had his mind made up right from the get-go that he was going to carry that one himself, and he gained 5 yards in the play.
And we've talked about it all night, the team speed that Winslow shows, and he saw that big opening. And, yeah, he got a nice gain out of it, and Winslow pursued it quickly and closed it down early.
2nd down and 5. Out to the 33-yard line now. It's Wilson. Spins forward and extra yards after the initial contact, and Wilson will have another 1st down. He was hit initially about 4 yards shy of where he ended up, and because of that, he was able to pick up a Brewer 1st down.
This is the kind of drive that which is needed. Again, as you mentioned earlier, Nate, they started on the 6-yard line. They're out to just beyond the 40 now. The kind of drive that they needed to sustain and hopefully result in a score.
And they've had the ball most of this 3rd quarter, it seems, because of this drive.
That's right.
Winslow had a couple of chances, but they ended up a turnover and a punt. So here's Porter again, mixing it up by going to Caldwell this time. And, well, the offense seems pretty simple. Dana Corey, the offensive coordinator for Brewer, for the most part, is just going either Caldwell or Wilson. And once in a while, he'll call the option, and Porter will keep it himself. But just seems like those two guys are, for the most part, alternating the carries.
And again, I think that's what we expected. That's what their power is. That's where their offense is generated from, and they're using the kids that have got it done for them all season long to hopefully get it done for them tonight.
Now, Tracy or Nate, if you guys are calling the plays, after how many running plays would you decide, hey, let's try to sneak in a pass here, see if we can catch them sleeping?
If the run's working, I don't know if I would right now, the way this drive's going.
You wait and see what's given to you. I mean, if Winslow shows that tendency to give him a spot in the defense to make a pass, then yeah, they may try it.
They run a sweep out to the left side. Porter keeps it himself after faking the pitch to the right and gets the ball close to midfield. You know, Howard, looking at the stats there, you look at the negative yardage that Wilson had a couple of carries in a row, but then you look at the positive yards that Caldwell gets, and he just runs straight up the middle, but it seems like every time he touches the ball, he's able to gain.
All right, he's going for positive yards. He hasn't had one negative carry all night.
That last play was carried by Porter, though, and he's able to get the ball just shy of midfield to the 49, where it's 3rd down and 2. This could end up being a big play to keep this drive going with 3:19 and running in the 3rd quarter.
Winslow's eagle down in the middle.
They give it to Caldwell.
Winslow eagle down up front, which means they kind of put those defensive tackles closer to the center to try and bunch up right there in the middle, force everybody into the box.
Caldwell gained 1 yard, and it's 4th down and 1. Caldwell has yet to run for negative yardage. That's his shortest carry of the game right now. That 1 yard gain right there. Do you give it to him again because he's been the guy to go to? Do you try and get Porter around the outside because he's had success there? Or do you go with Zach Wilson?
Some pretty good choices there.
They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They hurry to the line. They give it to Wilson, and he is met on the left side, and he won't gain anything. Trying to see which Black Raider made the hit. I believe, I'm going to guess, but I believe it was number 64 for Winslow, who's Kevin Harrison, who came up to make that hit.
I think you're right. I think Harrison made the initial charge in there and then got the help for the rest of that side of the Winslow defense.
Harrison, a captain of Winslow, plays linebacker, and I think he's the one who got back there. It's on the far side from us, but that was a big hit right there on 4th down. Winslow gets the ball back. Justin Lindy.
You know, that Winslow defense is very sound. When they get a chance to tackle, they're not letting go. They're holding on to the player. It's a very well-coached defensive team, and overall, this Winslow team is very well-coached.
Jeremy Smith there, Nate, had a big play on that to help stop that. He's a nose guard there in the middle of the Brewer defense. And again, as we've talked, they're playing aggressively defensively.
Looking back on these short yardage plays, almost every one of them going Winslow's way, including a couple down inside the 5 yard line to keep Brewer out of the end zone, and then that on 4th down. Once again, it's Lindy. Looked like he was going to be hit for a loss. He had to hesitate at the line, but then was able to go forward and gain a couple before being brought down by Ben Caldwell. Brings up a 3rd down.
And we've talked about big plays, and again, defense for Brewer in a big play situation here. Needing a big stop to get the ball back.
If they're able to keep Winslow from picking up any yardage, you have to imagine the Black Raiders would punt, so it could be one of those possession plays right here. It's Lindy who gets the call, and he was able to pick up a couple, so we'll have an interesting call here from the 42-yard line.
Again, Jeremy Smith in there, the nose guard for Brewer in there on the play, making a nice hit there, nice tackle. And interesting, you're right, interesting choice here for Winslow. Do you kick it deep? Try to run another play.
4th down and 2. You can pin Brewer well back in their own end, or you can go forward and keep the drive going. They will obviously go for it the way they're lined up. Savisky, the quarterback, keeps it himself, goes straight up the middle, and easily has it.
You know, you look back on these 4th and short plays. Brewer's defense have come up huge on 2 4th and short plays, and now the offense comes up big on a 4th and short play.
The Winslow defense.
Yeah, the Winslow.
That's what happened in the last possession. It happened inside on 4th down and goal, and Brewer wasn't able to get in. And now the other side of the ball, as you mentioned, and this is a Winslow line that gives up a lot of weight to the Brewer line. So if you just looked at the numbers, you would think it's going the other way, but not the case here. See if Savisky wants to run another play before the quarter. He does with just 1 second left, and it's a pass play to McCabe. And McCabe will pick up a Winslow 1st down on the final play of the 3rd quarter. Our score through 3 periods of play is Winslow 14, Brewer 0. We'll be back with the 4th quarter on the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
Northeastern Log Home's 4-star promise: to design the dream home that's perfect for you and your family, to ensure your home will be built with materials of the highest quality and durability and offered at a fair price, to deliver a complete easy build package with more of what you need, like Anderson windows, Owens Corning shingles, and Morgan doors, to provide factory direct expert assistance every step of the way for as long as you own your home.
Come visit us in Kenduskeag and we'll help build your dreams with our experience.
When you have an important point to make, don't clutter up the ad with all sorts of extra information. If Page Employment doesn't charge workers a fee, then we should just say that. Page Employment doesn't charge workers a fee. No fee. There, we said it.
Welcome back, everyone. The final quarter here between Brewer and Winslow. It's a 14-0 Winslow lead. The Black Raiders looking to add to that lead. And they give the ball to Justin Lindy to try and do it, but he's wrapped up for no gain. Ben Caldwell making the hit. Captain on the Witches.
Great play right there. Nice open field tackle. Again, maintaining those option responsibilities that are key, especially at this point in the game.
According to Coach Ortego, he has a couple of guys on this defense who are at least considering and being looked at by 1AA schools. Jamie Ecker, one of them, Zach Wilson, another, Ricky Porter, and then Ben Caldwell, the guy who just made that play right there. It's 2nd down and 12. Straight up the middle they go with Goulet. And he's brought down inside the 20-yard line.
If you're Winslow, guys, at this point, 4th quarter, you have a 14-0 lead. Do you try to slow it down a little bit, use some more of that play clock, and then run the ball and take your time coming back to the line again?
Well, apparently not on this play because they're going to take a timeout and stop the clock. Mike Savisky wanted to talk things over. This is obviously a big play on 3rd down and 8, and they want to keep this drive going. They want to at least get themselves set up to put some more points on the board and make it, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, they want to make it a 3-possession game.
You certainly want to get the 1st down here, obviously. And you're right, this is still a key point in the game. I mean, we're just starting the 4th quarter. I'm sure he's aware of the ability of Brewer's offense. So you certainly want to at least get the first down here.
Well, Coach Savitsky talked about their strong kicking game, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of interested to see what this kid can do kicking-wise.
Ben Poulin we're talking about, and yeah, it'd be nice to see some long field goal attempts once in a while, but we don't get to see that often. But I'm sure Winslow's thinking otherwise. They'd rather keep him off the field and have him kick extra points.
Well, he's 2 for 2 in extra points, so.
3rd down and 8. Savitsky bobbled the snap, was able to get it back, sprints forward, and he's really lucky he held on to that ball, because as he was going forward, it was definitely loose and in the air, but he was able to grab it and brings up 4th down.
I'm not sure if that was design keep or not. I don't know if he just decided to take off with it because of the bobble snap or that was by design.
Winslow quickly back to the line on 4th down and 3, and they're going to pass. Savitsky rolling out to his left.
2 men wide open in the end zone.
Goes into the end zone, touchdown.
You knew that one was coming. Wide open in the end zone, no Brewer defenders near him.
John Goulet making the catch for the touchdown, and that was well designed by Coach Savitsky. They ran the play before and then, without huddling, went right up to the line. Obviously, they called 2 plays during the timeout. If we don't get the first down, this is what we're going to run. And it worked perfectly because Steven Savitsky had his choices in the end zone.
Well, it looked like Brewer fell for the play action there, which allowed them to be wide open.
The kick is good by Ben Poulin. So Winslow extends their lead here in the 4th quarter with 10:39 left to play. They lead it 21-0 over Brewer. We'll be back with more after this. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
Security. You know what it means. And now you know where to find it. Seaboard. If you're responsible for a school, business, healthcare facility, or any other organization, the only word you need to know when it comes to keeping your facility secure is Seaboard. Because your students, customers, patients, employees, all the people who depend on you can depend on us. You just have to remember one word: Seaboard.
During our lifetime, priorities change, and we begin to seek out products that enhance our lives. We move and we grow and come to realize what's truly important. We begin to understand the value of our time and see the results of investing wisely. Priorities change, standards don't. Paradigm Windows of Portland, Maine. Window solutions for life.
Available from Carefree Window and Siding Company. Call 989-4260.
Welcome back, everyone. Set to kick off. Ben Poulin for the Winslow Black Raiders. 21-0 is Winslow's lead. Kicking off to Ricky Adams, who starts at about his 15-yard line and is tripped up at the 32. It'll be Brewer's ball there. We want to thank a few more of our sponsors, including Tim Woodcock, attorney at law, experienced litigator, experienced representative before municipal boards and administrative laws, and Da Vinci Signs, experience the Da Vinci difference. 1st down and 10.
If you're Brewer now, guys, do you start maybe thinking about throwing the ball a little bit more, or do you still stick with the run down 21-0?
It'll be interesting to see what they do here offensively.
They're going to go with the fullback up the middle. And it's Ben Caldwell.
Well, throughout the game, if you want positive yards, Caldwell's the man you want with the ball. He's picked up positive yards this whole game.
He gains 5, 2nd and 5. Well, we have a chance. I also want to mention the upcoming scheduled winter programs at the Brewer Park Recreation Department will include winter walkers, indoor adult golf lessons. As we have a timeout now being called, maybe they just wanted to make sure I got this announcement in.
They're always thinking of you, Nate.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Upcoming schedule, as I said, for the winter programs at the Brewer Parks and Recreation Department include winter walkers, indoor adult golf lessons, Wednesday evening pickup volleyball, Sunday evening adult basketball open gym, Sunday afternoon family open gym, preschool fun time, instructional basketball and middle school basketball leagues. In addition, numerous special events will take place along with the Brewer hometown band concerts, public skating and sliding on Doyle Field, which is where we are right now, and vacation open gym activities. Once again, further information can be obtained by contacting the Brewer Parks and Recreation Department at 989-5199.
Just want to also note, Nate, that their normal center, Zach Sherry, is on the sideline getting medical attention, and they are having a new center on the offense now for Brewer.
So Brewer not only down 21-0, but they have a new center in the game. It's number 51, Anthony Castiglia. Snap looks fine on that one. They pitch it out to Wilson. There's actually a new quarterback taking the snap as well. Ricky Adams was in at quarterback.
Porter was still in on the play, so a little bit of trickery there by Brewer.
Adams took the snap, pitched it out to Wilson, able to pick up a first down. It's at the 46-yard line of the Witches, 1st and 10. 9:45 to play here in the game. Winslow leading 21-0. Ricky Porter is now out to the left in this formation. At quarterback is Adams. And his pass is intercepted. At least that was the initial sign. The officials will talk about it. The initial sign was interception, but then I'm not sure who finished with the ball. And that initial call will stand. So Winslow will take over once again, and that, in some fans' minds, will do it as people start exiting out here with 9:31 to play in the fourth quarter, 21-0.
They had James Butts. That was the intended receiver, normally a linebacker for this team. He was in on that offensive play. It hit him in the chest, but right when it hit him, that Winslow defender stepped up and just ripped it out of his hands.
Tight formation for the Black Raiders. Keeping himself is Savitsky. I'm not sure if that was a design play either. Didn't look like it at first. Well, apparently he faked the handoff and just took off, and the play worked.
He may have decided to call his own number.
Yep, give the ball to 14.
That's right.
Well, turns out that's me. First down and 10.
I think Winslow today is really showing how fast they really are. Their running backs are fast, and Savitsky, a quarterback, he's showing great speed coming out of there on his own calls as well.
Once again, the tight formation for the Black Raiders here. Handoff goes to Jared Maroon.
Just a straight counter play there by the Black Raiders. Gets them a decent game. First down.
Jared Maroon also a great hurdler. He made it to the New England's in hurdles with last year. He made it to the New England Regional and did very well. So not only can he play football, but he can run and jump as well. And I guess those things go hand in hand if you're carrying the football often.
And it's tough to make it to the New England's in track. You have to be in the top 4 in the states to actually make it that far.
Well, here he is again, Maroon carrying the ball, and he will pick up what appears to be another first down, and it is. So the Black Raiders moving the ball here with 8:17 to go in the fourth quarter. They have the lead. Now they're just trying to eat up time. Adam Mahaney, Tracy Willett, Howard Kroll, and Nate Long here at Doyle Field.
Now Brendan Weed, of Winslow has checked in the game for offense now.
But the quarterback remains Savitsky, and the fullback remains Goulet, who got the call on that one. Just plows his way ahead. Seems like the fullbacks for both teams have had a productive afternoon. It's just Goulet. He broke that big 81-yard touchdown run and got Winslow off and running on the right track there.
Absolutely. 10 carries, 132 yards, 1 touchdown. Not a bad night.
I can do that math and tell you he's averaging over 13 yards a carry, which is never a bad night.
Is he right? Do that quick?
Imagine that.
What's that?
Did he do that quick?
That's why they get paid the big bucks.
Ah, I see how it works. All right.
3rd down and short.
Just to touch on this Winslow defense, earlier in the year they played another strong team in Belfast, who I'm sure you guys know is normally a very strong Eastern Maine team. They beat them 16-0, so this Winslow team does not yield very many points, and they played a great defensive game there, and they're playing another one here tonight.
You look at the close games that they've had this year, and most of the close games have been shutouts, or, well, I guess they've had one up until now, one close game, and that was a shutout. So you have to imagine that some of the other games were out of hand, and maybe they made some replacements early and could be reason for allowing some more of their points. But it's pretty obvious that this Winslow defense is very, very strong. And the offense is enjoying themselves right now as well, because they're moving the ball and keeping the clock running and marching down the field. The call goes to Justin Lindy.
As you said, Nate, Winslow just kind of keeping it between the tackles right now, running left to right off tackle. And once in a while, we've seen a counter out of him here in this particular drive. As you said, just trying to eat some clock up. And
they're keeping it very simple. They don't want to give up any possible big plays the other way, because they are fully in control of the game right now. All 3 backs lined up behind Savitsky. Lindy, big carry here, but a late flag comes in. Holding called against Winslow. And you know, that's one of the noticeable things in this half, is it seems like there were fewer penalties in the second half than there were in the first. The first half seemed like penalties were a big factor in the game, and that hasn't been the case as much.
Mike Savitsky is in his 21st year coaching this Winslow football team, and as long as I can remember, he's had the same game plan every year. Let's just run the ball, milk the clock, and let's score.
Well, that's why I mentioned earlier with Coach Poulin. I think Coach Poulin's been with him equally as long. And for many years, they are a base 4-4 team, and to see them in 5-3, a little different wrinkle for them tonight.
Pitch goes outside to Maroon. He tries to get out the left side. Stays in bounds and continues to keep the clock moving. It's down to 5:24 and running now.
Nate, you mentioned the field earlier, and we were all aware of the rain we had last weekend, and I just think it's amazing how well this surface has held up over the course of the week.
For sure.
Certainly credit to John Mackey and his crew.
Absolutely. Good drainage system they got in place.
And how green it is.
The field's in great shape. Always is here at Doyle Field, especially with the rain we had last weekend.
A quick pass to the tight end. Kevin McCabe is caught for a short gain. McCabe was going down as he caught the ball, and now we have I guess they're going to rule it incomplete, so that'll bring up 4th down. 4th and 7. We'll see if Ben Poulin comes running on the field or not. We're going to have a pause in the action and a timeout call by Winslow. We'll take the timeout as well with 4:51 to play here in the 4th quarter. Winslow has the lead 21-0. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
No matter how you stack it, Page Employment has jobs.
Welcome back, everyone, and we are about to see a field goal attempt here by Ben Poole, and the ball is marked at the 23-yard line, so it'll be a 33-yard field goal attempt. At least that's where the tee is spotted, and the kick is down, it's up, and it's going to be well short, goes into the end zone. So that field goal attempt is no good, and Brewer will take over first down and 10 with 4:47 left to play here in the fourth quarter. It'll be interesting to see now what this does to the standings and how teams are affected as far as the playoff hunt goes, because there's a chance that these two teams will meet up again in the playoffs. The question is, if they do meet up, would it likely be in the Eastern Maine final? And there's obviously a chance now with this loss, Brewer's second loss of the year, that they might not be the 2 seed going into it.
Well, the way teams are seeded in Eastern Maine with what they call the Crabtree points, it's all a cause and effect type thing. I mean, you know, if this score holds as we see it right now, that could have a trickle-down effect to other teams who have lost or won or what have you. Obviously, Winslow will probably have solidified themselves in that one spot, but the rest of them, it could be a real shuffle.
Now, how many teams make the playoffs?
I think they've taken the top 8 in Eastern Maine. Is it 8 or 6?
I believe it's 8 now.
Is it?
It was 6, but I believe this year is the first year they're actually going to 8 teams.
The Eastern Maine B is kind of in 2 divisions,
right?
A north and a south division, and they're all lumping everybody into one seeding. So I mean, you're also dealing with like Levitt. I think was the 3rd as of today in the Crabtrees.
And Levitt's a team that Brewer has seen here in recent years in the playoffs as well.
We had a playoff game last year here with Levitt.
Actually, it was the Page Employment Seaboard Security Game of the Week last year.
That's right. So, and they're infinitely better this year. So games like this can have cause and effect in that playoff scenario.
Well, we have a timeout on the field with 4:26 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Tracy, being an official, are you a fan of the Crabtree points the way it's set up, or would you rather see a different type of a playoff format?
It's hard to say. I think it's the most equitable way to determine where they're at. Everybody plays everybody differently. You know, some of these, Winslow and Brewer will see teams that Levitt and Waterville and so forth do not. So how do you determine who's playing who and that kind of thing? I mean, a team in the Southern Division could go undefeated and not have really played anybody of any strength.
We have a flag down on the play after the carry by Zach Wilson. And this will be an after the play personal foul called against Brewer. And what I believe happened was somebody on the Brewers sideline was standing a little too close and got involved in the play. And that's going to be a 15-yard personal foul because of it. Coach Ortego getting the explanation on his sideline, talking to the official. They're trying to move the guys back. Maybe somebody gave a little shove. I'm not sure what happened, but it's going to be 15 yards against Brewer.
It appears that one of the players on the sideline, as you said, did give a quick shove to a player as he was going out of bounds. At least that seems to be the indication. Howard, did you see?
Geez, I saw the total opposite. I saw a Winslow player take a Brewer guy down to the, behind the other players standing up, down to the ground. So I figured it was going to go on Winslow. So much for thinking.
First down and 10 with speaks for all of us. 3:53 in running here in the fourth quarter. Handoff by Porter to Wilson. And Wilson running to his left side. Brewer trying to get something going here and something positive to end this game on.
Brewer's schedule has been, I mean, they go to Belfast next week. Obviously, they've hosted Winslow here tonight. Gardner and Waterville, they both travel to. Gardner and Waterville drop down from Class A. And it goes back to what we talked about a minute ago about the Crabtrees and trying to seed teams according to who they're playing. Brewers has had a difficult schedule, I think, this year. And again, they go to Belfast next week, and as you mentioned, a perennial contender in Eastern Maine, so it doesn't get any easier for the Witches on the road next week.
And their only loss before this was to Waterville, and that was 26-20, so they had a hard-fought battle with a former Class A team.
Right.
Caldwell able to pick up a first down on the previous play. We're down to 3 minutes remaining. Brewer has it 1st and 10. Long snap count by Porter, and the pitch is fumbled, dove on by Wilson, lost on the play now, and I think everyone's content to just have this drive be the final one of the game, and Brewer was trying to get something going here, a late drive maybe to get some momentum carrying into next week, because you never like to end on a sour note and have to go through a week of practice without many positives, but there really haven't been too many positive things for Brewer besides the way their defense has played at times. Defense came up with some big plays in key times. Another flag coming in here late. Somebody seems to be lining up illegally. Somebody in a black jersey was over the ball when they lined up, so that's 5-yard penalty, and Brewer still going the wrong way.
Now Winslow came in here this week on a short week.
That's true. They played on Monday.
They played on Monday. Had a game with MDI on Monday, so obviously that did seem to affect them here tonight.
Yeah, you have to imagine that that's one less week of one less day of practice they had this week to get ready for what was clearly a big game. Nice completed pass this time, thrown to Ryan Babin.
Nice catch right there by Babin.
It's 3rd down and 15 to go for the Witches with 1:40 left to play here.
Least defended area of the field is the flat. You look at a lot of defenses, now, especially the backside flat, they give that away. And a team could really get some yardage on that backside flat pass.
Especially on 2nd and extremely long.
That's right.
Or 3rd extremely.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't give them the point we're in the game, but if you look at defenses overall, even through the course of the game, if you look at it, that backside flat especially is often the least covered area of the field.
There is a timeout on the field. Brewer will call the timeout. 1:20 left to play. Gives me a chance to once again thank our title sponsors, Page Employment, matching people to jobs since 1945. No application fees, Maine's oldest employment service, and Seaboard Security, uniform security officers. They make this possible. I know DVDs are available this game. If there's someone you know who's playing in it and you want to get a copy of it, they are for sale. You can contact Eric Baxter at Page Employment or Seaboard Securities.
Tim's up there. Tim did the Tracy, you've been around the game for a while. With 1:20 left, what's the most points you've ever seen score in 1:20?
Well,
Doubt 21.
I don't think I've seen 20, although you hear about those every once in a while. Not that I've ever been involved with. But it's possible, anything's possible. But they're going to have to get the ball back first.
It was a good crowd on hand. They are starting to clear out. They have been slowly trickling out after Winslow went up 21-0, but there were quite a few people on hand. 1:20 left to go. Brewer will pass. Porter under pressure, being chased, and it's picked off. Well defended, intercepted by Brendan Weed. And Winslow will take over 1st and 10 with 1:12 left to play, and it appears they will end up shutting out Brewer here on Brewer's home field, their senior night, and a lot of unhappy people on the Brewer sideline right now.
As I mentioned earlier, guys, the team that forced the most turnovers defensively was going to walk away the victors today. And Winslow's defense stepped up big today. They've intercepted the ball a few times. They forced some fumbles. And not to take anything away from Brewer's defense, because they've played a great game, but the big plays have been made by Winslow's defense.
Winslow may not even run a play. I guess they do decide to run a play. It's a handoff to Justin Lindy. He's brought down inside the 30. We're less than a minute to play and running. So Winslow takes control of the first #1 seed. It looks like they will have home field as long as they keep winning until the state championship game if they make it that far. And they earned it by coming here and getting the win.
Yes, they did. And Adam mentioned it earlier. Defensively played real strong tonight. And played real strong on both sides of the ball. And they did what they needed to do.
certainly wasn't given to them. Brewer put up a big test, especially early on when they drove the length of the field on their first possession.
Well, this half is 7-0.
That's true. This half was much more even half.
This half is 7-0.
And fewer penalties and just a better, the second half was just better played.
And you hate to focus on the what ifs, but you got to think back now. In the first drive of the game, what if Brewer would have scored that touchdown on when they were first and goal? Or what if they would have got that first down when it was 4th and inches? I'm sure that Coach Ortego is going to go back and he's going to look at the videos and he's going to wonder, you know, hey, if we got that touchdown, or hey, if we got this first down, this could have been a completely different game.
Well, that is the end of the game. Howard, we'll take a look at some of the final stats and our leading rushers of the game.
Okay, let's start with Winslow. Justin Lindy had 16 carries for 44 yards. John Goulet had 10 carries, 132 yards, 1 touchdown. Jared Maroon, 5 carries, 32 yards. Steven Savitsky, 5 carries, 25 yards. Now in the passing game, Steven Savitsky was 3 for 8, 1 interception, 2 touchdowns for 44 yards. Kevin McCabe had 2 catches for 29 yards, including 1 for 11-yard touchdown catch. And John Goulet had one catch for 15 yards, and that resulted in a touchdown.
That was enough for the 21 points they scored on the other side of the ball.
On the other side of the ball for Brewer on the running game, Ricky Porter had 6 carries for 12 yards. Ben Caldwell, 11 carries, 56 yards. Zach Wilson had 19 carries for 87 yards. And in the passing game, Ricky Porter was 4 for 8 with 3 interceptions and 25 yards in passing. Brad Brown had 1 catch for 15 yards. Ryan Babin had 2 catches for 10 yards combined.
So that is our final score, 21-0. We'll be back to wrap things up after this. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
Selection without service would be like sunshine without the warmth. Our jewelers have the experience and the tools to renew, repair, or even create jewelry with the warmth of real quality. We're Quality Jewelers. Browse in our new, larger location across from the Fleet Bank building on Exchange Street in downtown Bangor.
When you have an important point to make, don't clutter up the ad with all sorts of extra information. If Page Employment doesn't charge workers a fee, then we should just say that. Page Employment doesn't charge workers a fee. No fee. There, we said it.
Welcome back, everyone. 21-0. Winslow gets the win over Brewer, and one of the big reasons, the guy who scored the first touchdown of the game and then caught a touchdown past John Goulet. Congratulations on a great game.
Thank you very much.
First of all, you guys came in here knowing how important this game was, but you seemed to take control relatively early.
Yeah, well, things came together. I mean, we had a lot of heart in the game. I mean, Brewer's an outstanding club. We just really came together in the beginning and showed it.
And you're a team full of juniors. Not many guys graduating this year.
No, we have some good depth throughout the junior class. Our seniors step it up, though, for what we have, and we got some good depth. Good team.
Did you expect to have this big of a game where you score a couple times and you end up rushing 81 yards for a touchdown at one point?
Honestly, you really don't know what to expect when you come up to Brewer. I mean, it was just a great game. I mean, we played as hard as we could, and we expect to show ourselves.
And things went well for you.
Very well, luckily.
Congratulations. John Goulet, nice job today. He's definitely the player of the game after running for 81 yards and getting things going. We're going to come back and talk to his head coach right after this break, so stay with us. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
Security. You know what it means. And now you know where to find it. Seaboard. If you're responsible for a school, business, healthcare facility, or any other organization, the only word you need to know when it comes to keeping your facility secure is Seaboard. Because your students, customers, patients, employees, all the people who depend on you can depend on us. You just have to remember one word: Seaboard.
Welcome back. We're here with Coach Mike Savitsky after another big win, this time 21-0 here against Brewer. And, well, you definitely took control in the second half. That must have been a little relieving for you that it didn't come down to any late fourth quarter plays.
It was a little relieving. We had a very nice drive going, and Steven Savitsky picked up a first down and fumbled. And So, we really wanted to score the opening drive, and I know that Brewer was going on the opening drive, and I think we stopped them like a 1 yard line, 1 foot line, somewheres down there, and that was key. And John Goulet broke that long run. Certainly, certainly Brewer is an excellent team, and I'm sure they'll be ready in the playoffs.
Talk to us for a second about how important it was for you to get that momentum on that first play where they had first and goal inside the 5, and you ended up holding them.
We just the kids just brought it on that play and did a good job because Caldwell's such a load to stop, and I thought Wilson showed very good feet and everything also. So, Coach Poulin always comes up with within our scheme, comes up with some nice defensive schemes and everything for us within our defensive scheme. He does a phenomenal job.
You never like to look ahead or think too far ahead as a head coach. I understand that, but does this win give you guys, obviously it gives you a jump. Do you feel like this solidifies a number 1 seed for you now, and you might be able to not go into these final 2 weeks as intense?
Well, I think it will be intense. We have a Waterville renewal next week, Winslow-Waterville game, and we haven't played one that counts for quite a while. And so it'll be very interesting. I'm sure that they'll be ready and they'll be really fired up. There's still some playoff, maybe some playoff jostling positions can happen in that. So that's always a fantastic game. So we'll have to see.
Well,
another week.
Good luck in that one.
It'll be intense.
Congratulations on this win, 21-0. Congratulations,
Thank you
Coach Mike Savitsky of Winslow, the winning coach tonight. We'll be back with more right after this. You're watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
During our lifetime, priorities change, and we begin to seek out products that enhance our lives. We move and we grow and come to realize what's truly important. We begin to understand the value of our time and see the results of investing wisely. Priorities change, standards don't. Paradigm Windows of Portland, Maine. Window solutions for life.
Available from Carefree Window and Siding Company. Call 989-4260.
Back with Coach Ed Ortego of the Brewer, which is obviously not the result that you wanted to have in this one.
Yeah, terribly sloppy game. Had some opportunities and squandered them. Had partial drives going, squandered it with penalties or fumbles. And you're playing a real good team, and just like we saw in the playoffs, you can't do that and beat this team. Very disappointing.
You guys had that opening drive where you got the ball inside the 2-yard line, first and goal, and couldn't get in. Did that deflate you guys at all early on?
I don't know if it deflated us or not. We didn't play well today. If you're going to let one play deflate you, you're not very tough mentally. So we have to look at that.
Is it something that you obviously can take with you and build on, though? And it's not the end of your season. It's not like losing to them last year in the Eastern Maine Finals. You still got more games to play, and you still have a chance to rebound from.
We're a good team. We can be a good team, and we'll have to decide where we want to be and how hard they're going to play the rest of the year.
Do you have anybody on your team who you think might come after this loss and bring the guys together and say, hey, this is my team that I want us to finish with a bang and let's step it up?
Well, we just made a season appointment of Zach Wilson to a captain, but just by the way he was playing the last few weeks. And you can see he wanted to play really, really tough tonight. Unfortunately, some of his teammates didn't play quite as well. We think maybe he can be a leader and a spark along with Ben Caldwell.
Well, good luck, Coach. Thanks for coming and talking with us, and good luck the rest of the season. Coach Ed Ortego, after a disappointing 21-0 loss to the Winslow Black Raiders. We'll come back and wrap things up right after this on the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.
No matter how you stack it, Page Employment has jobs.
Welcome back, everyone, to Doyle Field. Not the way the home crowd wanted to leave this field because Brewer ends up losing 21-0. But Adam, Brewer does still have a chance to rebound, and even though Ed Ortego, as we just heard in the interview, he was disappointed in the loss, it's not the end of their season yet.
No, it's not. They still have a few weeks to go before the playoffs. Right now, what they need to do is have one of their captains, when they get back into the locker room, gather that team together and let them know, hey, we still have a few more weeks to go. We can still make a run for that state title.
We'll see if that happens. On the other side of the ball, Tracy, Winslow established themselves as the team to beat. There's no reason why they shouldn't be the #1 seed after watching this.
And they're all juniors. That's the amazing thing. And we talked about throughout the entire game, team speed. That was hard to defend against tonight. We had a hard time stopping that team speed. And the other thing we talked about right from the beginning is turnovers and penalties, and that certainly played a key role in tonight's game.
So the final score, Brewer falls to Winslow 21-0. We want to thank a few people who made this possible. Page Employment and Seaboard Securities, our title sponsors. We want to thank Pam and Eric Baxter for all their hard work. Eric's also the editor on this. We want to thank Mike Brontis for his camera work. That'll do it from Doyle Field. For Adam Mahaney, Tracy Willett, and Howard Kroll, I'm Nate Long. Thanks for joining us. Once again, the final score, Winslow 21, Brewer 0. You've been watching the Page Employment Seaboard Securities Game of the Week.